should I talk about how I'm binging Twilight?
Oh my God. I hate Twilight.
I do too, but like there's just
Do you?
there's just such a gravitational pull with it. It's like kind of like The Bachelorette.
I got it. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I read Twilight when I was in middle school because people thought it was really cool. And I was like, this has to be good. I love good books. And then I read Twilight and I lost all respect for it. And then I bought
Yes.
I got a Blockbuster gift card for my birthday. This is when Blockbuster was still a thing and they were going out of business. And I bought the Vampire Suck, which is like the parody of Twilight, and it was my favorite movie for like a year.
Can we just do a hot take on Blockbuster? Like the smell of Blockbuster. Do you remember the smell of Blockbuster?
Did it smell like popcorn?
No, I mean kind of. It just smelled like when you get a crisp book and you like open it.
I don't remember what it smells like. I remember that it was on the corner right by my elementary school, like a couple blocks away from it. It was on the corner. That's what I remember.
Okay.
And I remember one time this kid in front of me stole like a pack of cards or like a pack of candy, and his mom got so mad at him. Because there was like a little thing that went off if you took something, and he took stuff,
Oh,
and then
right.
the thing went off, and it was a big thing, and my dad was like, "If either of you ever did that, I would let them take you to prison." So if that doesn't tell you how I was raised, then I don't know what does.
That is so cutthroat. I genuinely cannot see your dad talking like that.
Listen, my parents were like so much harsher when we were children. I don't know how. Like I said, Blockbuster was still a thing. I was definitely in elementary school.
Honestly, yeah, they were kind of harsh with the whole how they told you were moving story. Okay.
Oh yeah, take me to Cold Stone in a public place and then tell me that I'm moving.
Every Cold Stone's traumatizing now.
Like, I don't enjoy it the same way because it was such a special thing as Cold Stone is expensive. We
Yeah.
never went there. But all my friends would go, but we never did. And then we went and I was excited and they said, "You're never going to see your friends, but you can't cry about it cuz you're in a public place."
Wow.
I
Talk
said,
about manipulation. They said,
"Thanks, Mom, Dad." Thanks for my ice cream I don't want to eat anymore. Thanks for ruining the only good thing I've ever had.
wow.
Well,
Is this our segment?
I know, I feel like it might be. Oh gosh, Stu and Richard just cannot listen to this one. I feel like I'd get a text from my mom like, "I'm so sorry we did that. Is everything okay? I know that must have been like because they've grown so much as people because parents are people
that's true.
and like
Do your parents listen?
listen to the pod."
Yeah.
I don't think so regularly, but I feel like occasionally they might
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, "We saw this and we just wanted to tell you that like that wasn't our intention. We were just trying to soften." Like they would, "We just wanted you to." I'm like, "Ice cream doesn't make me feel better, Mom." Oh gosh, wow, that is, I don't know, the whole like childhood trauma, the whole inner child thing coming out. Like clearly, she's still there.
Oh my God. I feel like everyone has it, no matter what age you are, it's still there.
Yeah, I think that is, yeah. What am I, 23? That was like 10 years ago, a
Wow.
decade ago, and I'm still talking about it.
She's still mad.
I'm still bitter.
Okay.
So you're watching Twilight. That's exciting.
Yeah. I have been binge watching it. I feel like it came up on my Prime Video the other day. Actually, no, what happened was one morning I was watching it on TV with Chris, and we were just like watching while we're eating breakfast, and he was like, "I feel like I've never watched these before." And I was like, they can be really dramatic and interesting, and the plot is just awful because it really, first of all, there's no dialogue. It's just heavy breathing.
Oh my god. It's so bad. That's why the book was so bad. Because there's no
Yeah.
dialogue and there was like 200 pages about how she might be falling in love with a
Yes.
vampire.
Right. Exactly. So we watched like a scene of it, and then it was like in my head from that day on. And then he came one day, and I was like, "Should we watch Twilight?" So we watched the first one, and then I've just been binging the whole season.
It basically has enough movies to be a season.
Well, yeah, now I'm in the Breaking Dawn one where she looks like, also like, spoiler alert. I don't know if this is a spoiler alert, but if you haven't seen Twilight, she like, Bella looks horrible when she's pregnant. And I was eating lunch and I was like, this is nauseating. Like, I literally can't watch her.
Oh my god, I don't think I've ever seen Breaking Dawn, and I feel like it's not a spoiler because if you haven't watched Breaking Dawn by now, like, you're not going to.
Well, we don't want to get canceled.
What else is new? Your birthday's next week.
I know.
Clearly, that's all she does.
Well, I think it's just like, I was just talking to one of my good friends whose birthday was just this past weekend, and she was like, we're talking about 23 and like what it means this year for us, and how it's like the first birthday without friends around you, the first birthday where you're not like, like
Mhm.
a birthday party. So I feel like it's just kind of the first one where you're actually in adulthood. And like,
Mhm.
it's fine. Like, I don't need a rager. Like, I'm okay. But I also feel like Jessica Day from New Girl, like, I do have expectations.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think it'll be fun. Just a quarantine birthday, just typical Sagittarius sitting over here.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, we'll see how it goes. I think that it will be, I don't know, hopefully still positive and you're with your family
Honestly,
and
I'm getting
then
Chick-fil-A. Like, what else do I need is the reality.
honestly, like that's a win in and of itself.
I know.
We love
So,
Chick-fil-A.
yeah.
I have an update.
Oh,
Ooh, well, I guess update for the listeners. I am done with this job that I'm in on Friday. So by the time this podcast airs,
ooh.
I will be in my new position. Um,
You'll be
and
doing your first day.
I'll be doing my first day. This podcast airs. Whitney is starting a new job. So that was 6 months in this position. And I feel like my goal was to have a position that I felt aligned more with my career goals that I could climb and grow and connect and be a little bit more rooted in by the time that May rolled around. I feel like I've mentored a lot of people in the sustainability field in the 2021 class. And I was like, by the time that they graduate, I want to be in a place that they can feel proud of and like it's attainable for them. Because I remember specifically with one person that I would kind of give updates on my life and I'd be like, I don't know, I'm really struggling. She would be like, I see you a lot in me because you've literally mentored me and I'm stressed out about your life because I think it's going to be my life.
Oh
And
my God.
and so I don't know if that makes any sense, but I felt like this really heavy pressure within myself to figure it out, not only for myself, but also for these other women
Yeah.
I've mentored that I want to like see be fulfilled and excited and succeed. Not like me being in this position will like, but I feel like they're like, if she did that, I can attain that because
Right.
I have similar skill set and let's go.
Right.
So I
Well,
was like, yeah.
I think it's just also because the people that are looking at you are the people that watched you kind of transform sustainability at Penn State. And I think that like that was really big for you and that was really big for them. And so I can see how like they would be like, okay, so Whitney is kind of the person that I'm looking towards now to see career goal wise and what she's up to. And I mean, that's a lot of pressure though for you, for them to like kind of be like, you need to get a new job because I need a new job.
Well, nobody ever said that directly to me, but I think it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, I just wanted to feel like I was in a place that fit, and I
Right.
feel really excited about this. So that's my update for the listeners, and I feel like it's really good to kind of going back to Allie's episode where she talked about pivoting so much and, like,
Hmm.
how it's okay. I think Marissa talked a lot about patience, which I think is really important, but I also think it's okay to be impatient when you know that, like, you can grow better somewhere else. I had like a recap ending meeting today, and the woman that's super sweet, she was like, I think this is awesome because life is short, and if you can get to where you want to be faster, then there's no waiting around for anyone else.
Wow.
And I said, "Thank you, Ruth."
Well, and I think the thing is too is like everybody's different and like what makes you grow and forces you to grow could make me feel stressed out and anxious.
Yeah,
What
absolutely.
makes
Yeah.
me grow and forces me to like learn could make you feel like this isn't what I want right now. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that like every person is different and that some people grow faster than others and we all do it differently. So I'm just happy that this is something that's happening for you because I feel like it's been kind of hard these past couple months. So cheers to Whitney.
Thank you. Yeah, so that's my update. That and that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else that's major. And I'm binging Survivor. That's like
Mm.
I'm like so excited to watch that with Paul. We watched like 4 episodes yesterday.
Did you watch Survivor like growing up or is it like a first time for you?
It's the first time. It's the first time.
What made you just like stumble upon Survivor, like of all things?
They
So
just put they just put 2 new seasons, well, not new seasons, 2 old seasons on Netflix. And
okay.
We were on Paul's account and he was like, "Have you ever watched Survivor?" And I was like, "No." I feel like my mom didn't let me watch it because people were like, I don't know, not Mormon on that. And because when we were young, she didn't let us watch anything. And so he was like, "Oh my god, you would love it," because he knows I love trash TV. And I was like, "All right, whatever, let's try it." And I kid you not, we like binged an entire season in a weekend and ate Wendy's. Like it was
Oh my god.
so fulfilling.
Yeah, but Whitney, I feel like you'll never admit this. Maybe you will, and I'm just not showing a testament of your character. But like whenever you watch a TV show with Whitney, like she is so bad at being like, let's stop and like do something else. Like she's like, well, it's already going, like, let me go pee really quick and then sit back down. And then you just you've watched like 3 hours worth of trash TV and it's like 1 a.m.
No,
Like
I'm
as hard as you work, like that's as hard as you binge watch trash TV. Yeah.
It's so true. I'm like, I will admit it because it is truly like my guilty pleasure. I remember you and I watched The Circle in
Oh
2
my
days.
God. That was unhealthy. I was having dreams about it.
And like I know that was like 100% on me. Like you couldn't help, but like I know I was the enabler in that situation.
Yeah. That was also a really good show. That wasn't too trash though. Like that was pretty good. Okay, it was kind of trash.
I feel like when I say trash TV, it's like the reality TV where you're watching people like, yeah, I don't know, but you're right about that. I do love TV.
Yeah, she
That's who
loves
I
it.
am.
All right.
Okay, well, that's kind of us. We did the poll on Instagram, and you guys said that you wanted to hear more from us, so we'll try to do a little bit of an update on each episode, just so that you hear a little bit about what's going on. We really also just want to thank you, and like always, if you're listening to this on Apple Music, please give us 5 stars. Spotify, subscribe. YouTube, subscribe. Thank you so much for all of your support. We really appreciate it. If you have anything that you want us to touch on, or you want to be a guest, or know somebody that you want to hear come on the podcast, email us at tessandwhitney@gmail.com.
Yeah. So today's podcast was with Zach, and he is the owner slash creator slash vision behind Joe Pa's Closet.
Hmm.
And his podcast, I don't know. I don't really have the words. I feel like he really surprised me.
Hmm.
He's so charming and so lovely. And I feel like not that I didn't expect that because I kind of know who he is through like glimpses of being with him and like through Allie, our friend, but I don't know. I think he really surprised me and he gave so much advice and it just seems like he's very wise for his age. I don't know if that's like really gassing him up, but I feel like it's true.
Yeah, and we can let you guys decide. I think it was really interesting to hear from him and a different experience for sure because most of the people that we've talked to, a lot of them are in 9 to 5s now, and that's just not Zach's situation. And he definitely shared a lot of advice and also surprised me. And we tried a new game with him, so let us know if you like it, and we'll do it with our other guests in the future. We're excited to have you listen and check him out. Joe Paz Closet on Instagram or mycollegecloset.com.
All right, let's get into it.
All right. Well, I guess we can just. I have so many questions already, so I'm like really excited to talk with you because I don't know. I haven't seen you since like a good minute.
Yeah,
R.I.P. First bingo.
I feel
that's
like
actually crazy.
that was
That
the
was-
last time I think we saw you.
yeah, and everybody was like, "This is the last time we're all seeing each other," like kind of as a joke, but like it actually was true. Everyone was like, "We're not gonna come back," or like, I think like Katie said that maybe, and I was like, "Nah, that's not true."
Yeah.
No,
But it,
I vividly remember that too. And I remember just being like, wow, thank God I hugged everyone because that was the last time I was able to actually do that like legally.
uh, yeah, I mean the first was really fun. I miss it for
I'm
sure. We're pretty close to it, but we haven't gone back. That seems like COVID central there.
Yeah,
So
that's a little risky. We don't
literally a sweaty basement.
let me
yeah,
I'm
All
gonna get
right.
my notes out for this, Whitney, so I can like for the game, so I can take notes because
yeah.
I need
What's this
to have
game
that.
about?
We're gonna. It's really. I'm curious. I wonder if you've already like done it. So it's like a quick personality game.
Yeah, it's called the Sigmund Freud test. Is that how
That
you
feels
pronounce
right.
it?
I don't think I have before.
It's supposed to like give you and us like a good insight into like your brain that you wouldn't necessarily say yourself. So I'm very interested to see how you answer these questions.
Yeah, I mean, the only quiz I've taken recently is what house I would be in Harry Potter. That's my post-grad life. I'm not taking normal tests. I'm just taking those weird ones.
Oh my
Oh
god,
my
I
god.
love that. I used to take those Facebook quizzes all the time that were
Uh,
like, what ice cream flavor would you be? Or like, what is oh my god, that's what house would you be?
Hufflepuff. And
Okay.
I haven't really watched Harry Potter that much. I watched them like all once, so like I didn't know. Some of the questions were a little hard for me, but I don't know. I guess I got that one.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
not good or bad, really. I think it's just like the most generic house. Like I don't even think like like the people in the movie really know what it is. Like
Did you ever do those like assessments when you were like young on Facebook and it would be like rating your crush's first initial and your initial and how compatible they were?
yeah,
I used to do that and be like, dang it, we're not compatible. Can't talk to him anymore.
yeah. I mean, Allie did that with our signs, and I'm pretty sure we weren't like that compatible with like some of the stuff. So
What is your sign, Zach? When's your birthday?
it's December 23rd. I think it's a Capricorn.
Yeah. I I get along really well with Capricorns. That's one of my compatible signs, I think. My brother's a
Aren't you-
Capricorn.
But he's on the cuff though, the cusp of like Sagittarius, so he probably has Sagittarius tendencies.
Yeah,
Mm.
we're just gonna analyze your astrology.
All right, why don't we get started then?
Okay, you can just go
I mean,
ahead and like we're already
yeah,
started. Just go ahead
we
and
Yeah, sounds good.
dive in.
already rolling. Okay. Okay, well, okay, Zach. So we're gonna do the segment for you test with you. And so basically I'm gonna ask you these two questions and you're gonna give me three things about it that you like. So the first one is what is your favorite animal? So what are three things about that animal that you like, that you find admirable, that you kind of chose that animal as your favorite?
Okay, first animal that comes to my mind is a turtle. I like turtles. Um, and I would say, well, it would probably be between a turtle or a horse. But
Those are so different.
yeah, but
Okay.
I like that turtles, they have their hard shell. They can go as fast or as slow as they want, and they can just hide in the shell. I like horses because, they're just always like so free and majestic, you know? I,
Wow, that's like so you have one that's like it can hide in its shell, and then you have another one that's like totally free. You
yeah,
have to choose one.
Yeah.
okay. I I'd say probably like my favorite animal out of the two would be a horse.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean, I just always really liked horses. Like I rode them a few times. I really like it. So I'm not a horse boy though. I'm not sure if that's a thing,
Just
but
got to clarify that one out there.
So you like that horses are free,
I
majestic.
like I like that they you know I like how they gallop.
Like you like that they move with grace. They're graceful.
They're graceful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like how they're really strong. They can carry someone or pull something. I'm not sure if that fits into the game that we're playing, but
No, that's
This
honestly, I feel like we'll work with it. I think that's perfect.
these are good. I feel like okay, you're on to something here. Okay, so the next one I feel like will be like specifically interesting because of what you do with your life right now. So it's what is your favorite article of clothing and why? So mine was like a turtleneck because it's classic, it keeps you warm, it's comfy, it can go with anything, kind of something like that maybe.
yeah. I would say my favorite article of clothing is a t-shirt.
Okay.
Um, Mainly because, with vintage clothing, it's like you're wearing art. Um, I think that I searched for my whole life to or like whenever I was in high school and stuff, like I really tried to be different from everyone else, and I found that clothing um, was a great like conversation starter. It's also just like t-shirts are comfy and you can wear them all the time.
Yeah, I love that. I think that that's so fun. So you feel like the three reasons are that conversational,
Yeah.
different, and art.
Mm. They're
Okay.
fun, I don't know.
Oh,
They're
perfect.
just they're great because there's so many of them, like you'll never run out of t-shirts, like, and like they can be cheap or they can be super expensive, like, 'cause I like that too.
Cute. Okay.
All right, do you want to know what that means about you?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Okay, go ahead, Tess.
So, okay, so the animal is how you view yourself. So, you view yourself as free, majestic, galloping
You
gracefully,
carry people.
carry someone or pull someone, and strong. But I feel like do you think that that's pretty accurate for how you see yourself?
um I wouldn't say all the time, really. um
Sometimes you're like a turtle.
yeah, I think sometimes I'm like a turtle.
Yeah, I think that that's interesting how you said turtle and horse, and you were like naming such different traits as to why you like them so much. So I feel like there's something going on there, Zach.
Yeah.
um, and then the t-shirt, your favorite article of clothing is how other people see you. So you said t-shirt because it's artistic, different, conversation starter, comfy, and then you said like it can kind of go with anything. So I said flexible and adaptable.
Yeah, I hope people see me like that.
I feel like that's pretty accurate, especially with like the way that I mean, you just said like you really love unique clothing because it's a conversation starter and you've started this business around curating like really awesome conversation starting pieces that are unique
Yeah.
and artistic. So I feel like at least for me, I feel like, and when others view you, they're like, oh yeah, that guy does this. And I feel like that's how you like to kind of put yourself out into the world. And
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
mean, I've been like that for as long as I can remember. Like in high school, I would do that, like with clothing too. So it's just kind of like a part of me. So I'm
Well,
happy with
interesting.
something like that.
It started in high school. I didn't know it was like that for you, that kind of collecting things and seeing the art and everything. I didn't know that that was like such a
Yeah.
long time now.
Yeah, I was into like designer clothes and stuff when I was in high school, and it was just too expensive. And I just ended up finding vintage clothing as like a great alternative, like just all around.
Is there like, do you think that there's anything like as to how that happened? Like, was your mom interested in clothing, or was it like just something that came to you?
Um, well, I think it's just like in my blood, like doing this in
He
general
said,
because
fashion's in my blood.
well, no, not the clothing really in general, but like collecting stuff. My dad, he collects tons of stuff, like vintage Christmas stuff, and my grandpa, my mom's dad, would collect and sell postcards. Like he'd go and set up a booth. And I actually found out recently that my grandma owned a consignment store
No way.
selling clothes. So then I only found that like a year ago. So I was like, that's really cool. So I think there's something like in me that like brought me to this point. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it sounds like it's definitely been kind of a like family lineage. I have a question. So we talk about post grad a lot, but I'm also kind of curious, like, what has it been like to like kind of know that you have this passion and then go to school and then start a full time business out of this passion that you had before you went to school? And like,
Yeah.
what-
So really, before college, I didn't sell very much. Like, I pretty much just was into vintage clothing. I'd love to wear it, and I love to like wear other types of clothing. But like whenever I got into college, I just found myself just thinking about it more and more, just like every day.
Mhm.
And so then, when I would go to thrift stores and stuff, I would like buy a lot, and I realized like I was just buying too much stuff, so I needed to start selling stuff. Um, and I didn't really expect it to get like popular or anything, or be able to do it full time or anything like
Mhm.
that. Like I started Joe Pa's Closet like 2 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I just did it as a way to basically for me to sustain my shopping habits and like document what I had. Like
Yeah.
that was pretty much it. Like it's great. It's amazing that it took off like that, but I didn't really like I set goals for myself, but my one of my goals wasn't to do it full time. Like it was just like it happened. It's
Yeah.
awesome, but
Wow.
yeah.
So what has it been like to kind of, because I feel like a lot of people are in this 9 to 5 rigmarole right now, and you're kind of, I mean, not in that space so much. And so what is it like to like one, live with a partner who's in a 9 to 5, but then also like not have a 9 to 5 yourself?
Yeah, I think it was weird at first to like cuz even like with just me feeling I just felt like I needed a 9 to 5. And like this past summer I got a grant from the Penn State Launch Box to like work on my business full time, and that like kind of convinced me that I could do it full time. But like
Mhm.
it was even like I mean my parents are super supportive and everything, but like I just feel like it was weird me like not getting a full time job and just doing this. It's definitely like a big like step for me to just
Yeah.
do that. And living with someone who works full time, I mean, I think it's fine. A lot of the time, she's working from home, which we get to like hang out and stuff. So I think that's great. I'm sure it would be a lot different, like if she was like in the office all day, like
Mhm.
without COVID or anything. So yeah,
So I'm just curious. So you're kind of talking about how you didn't expect like Joe Pa's Closet to take off like this. Do you like see yourself staying with Joe Pa's Closet and like kind of enjoying this like not 9 to 5 life? And doing whatever you need to do to grow your business type life, or do you see yourself doing something with the environment and management and what you went to school for? I just feel like you really blew up fast, and like, great job. Like, we have so many questions about that because I want to know, because obviously this girl wants to get famous. But yeah, I'm just curious, like, if you think that Joe Pa's Closet is something that you see like for long term.
Yeah, so I think that
That
I'm
could be
gonna
stressful. So if it stresses you out, I'm sorry, because I feel like that's a
no,
big question to
no,
ask.
I think that, I'm gonna continue to like just Joe Plus Closet is so creatively freeing to me that it leaves me so many avenues to try out new things and just, be creative. And I think that it gives me avenues for growth. I think
Mhm.
just vintage clothing in general is going to be so much bigger than it is now within the next 10 years, that I think it's pretty much like, if I give this my full effort, which I am and which I've always have been, the sky's pretty much the limit. But that doesn't mean that in the future I couldn't try. Who knows what kind of opportunities will present themselves? But like, you know, I was just shopping on like Patagonia like a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
like for someone for Christmas, and they have like a used clothing section on their website now.
Mhm.
So like it just shows like what kind of things are like on the horizon for like any like clothing industry in general. So I could see myself maybe doing something with that in the future if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I saw that on North Face, I think the other day. They had like from the past vintage fun things.
Yeah. So I
Um,
just think that's like so cool that like they're doing that, and I just think they see it. Um and yeah, I mean it's exciting really to see not just the Penn State stuff is cool because I feel like I'm presenting it to an audience that like isn't into vintage clothing. Like I follow a lot of accounts that are just that a lot of their followers are people who are really into vintage, but it's nice like my account just random people who wouldn't even think that like
mhm.
that was cool in the first place. So
Yeah.
it just shows you like how big of an audience just doesn't really know about vintage clothing yet. So
Yeah, Tessa's mom actually follows you and literally thought that we were interviewing like a celebrity today because she was like, Who is that? You're like interviewing him?
Well,
no way.
she was talking to me about this podcast because she knew I was, doing it tonight. And she was like, "Who are you talking to? It is another one of your friends." And I was like, "Actually, I mean, he is a friend, but like, it's Zach, Allie's boyfriend, the guy who basically owns Joe Pa's Closet." And she was like, "I follow him. Are you serious?"
No way.
And I didn't even know that she followed you. I really didn't. So it's so
Crazy.
interesting that you even like reached my mom. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she's a Penn State alum, so like a lot of her stuff is Penn State, but like that's really interesting that you even
That's
got Deb on the Joe Pa's Closet team.
that's wild. That's actually wild. That's cool.
Sorry, Whitney, were you saying something before I just went off with that?
No, no, I think it's so funny. And I think the whole part about like getting people that maybe don't even understand the vintage part. I'm curious, like, is that at all why you chose like an environmental field to study in college because you love the whole like vintage and like repurposing, or is that totally something different? Do you ever want to touch that again, or like what does that look like for you?
I think it wasn't a reason. Vintage clothing was not a reason why I chose my major. I chose my major just because I knew that you know doing in something environmental would uh, be important for me and be something that I really that would just it's only getting becoming more of an issue. And
Rip.
so I just well, originally I was going to do environmental engineering, and I just wasn't smart enough for that. Like it was just way too hard. So then I found environmental resource management, and that was like perfect. Like
Mhm.
it was like enough math and enough science where it was pretty much like it was exactly what I needed. And all my classes were like pretty small and everything. But yeah, it had nothing to do with vintage clothing or anything. Like I just knew that environmental issues would be
A huge
like
thing.
a great field for me to get into. Yeah, and I mean, people are finally realizing it, or at least realizing it more. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, I thought I would be able to come out. Like whenever I graduated in May, like I still applied to jobs and stuff, but like I still struggled to get a job. So
Mhm.
it's like not any easier. At least it wasn't easy as I thought it would be
Yeah.
to get a job.
Well, and I mean, like, kind of what you are doing, like, this might be a stretch, but you are recycling and kind of repurposing clothing and putting value on something that was once going to just be trash, pretty much. So I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
that that's kind of somewhat related to environmental resource management, but
I, I
I
mean,
do
it
think it's
definitely has
interesting.
connections. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, a majority of the stuff I buy is would go into the landfill immediately after I if it wasn't sold. So I,
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And there's such a big market for it. And like I love what I think part of the reason I love the environmental aspect is kind of that creativity and like the ability to solve all these like huge problems because you need creative thinking. And it sounds like that's like your outlet with Joe Pa's Closet and like your
yeah.
ability to be creative there is really exciting and people are interested and um I don't know, I think that's really cool. And we have a lot of questions about it. But I'm also like want to talk to you about your general like post grad life and kind of like what that transition was like. So like you graduated and you looked for jobs and like just nothing was sticking. Was there any like pressure? And I know you said you felt some like pressure internally to like find something and get moving, but what was that pivot like when you were like, you know what? It's going to be Joe Pa's Closet and I'm comfortable and I'm taking this risk and let's do it.
Yeah, so kind of a long story, but
Break it down, Zach.
so
Let us know.
you guys already interviewed my partner Allie. Um, that was a great podcast, but she
She's
got
great.
a job out in Colorado after graduation. Um, and it was kind of always our dream to go and move out there. Like it was always we went on a trip there once, and it just seemed like it was really great for us to go and live out there. And she got a job, and I was struggling to find a job. And also I had gotten at that point I had already gotten this grant from Penn State to continue my business over the summer. So I was like, I'm going to take my I'm gonna do the grant over the summer and see kind of where it goes, and I'll continue to apply to jobs out in Colorado, and see like what opportunities present itself. But just gradually over the summer, like Allie wasn't loving Colorado. Her job wasn't what she expected it to be.
Mhm.
I was having a hard time finding a job out there. Um, and it just kind of narrowed down to I was selling way more than I ever expected to over the
And your stuff
summer.
sells out in like 30 seconds, I feel like.
Yes.
Yes, every time I see something I want, I'm like, "Let me get on here really quick," and by the time I'm actually clicking on it, it's gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I love that it's like that, a little bit competitive.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, so for me, like I felt like the summertime was my off season because it was like there's no school, there's no Penn State football. I
Mhm.
probably won't be able to sell that much. So I'm like, but this past summer it was going just as good, and I was doing it full time, and I was like, this is amazing.
Mhm.
So it was kind of like, I kind of I just felt like everything was telling me like this is what you need to do, like, and it just all kind of was pointing to me doing it. Like
Yeah.
that's like the only way to describe it.
What advice do you have for like other post grads that either are in a job right now and they have a great idea and they're like really excited about it and it's a side hustle, like or like people that are like people that are just excited about an idea and feel like they have the ability to do it. What is your kind of advice for that?
um I would say the biggest thing that I think, there's a couple things, but like pretty much set goals for yourself that are not like super crazy goals, but like very optimistic goals. And it's like it doesn't get your hopes up. Just like say like either I like to say them out loud because I just like to like I want the universe.
Manifest it.
And
Manifestations, yes.
I do this all the time. I do it to Allie all the time. I'm like, this is what I want to happen. I say it out loud. I don't say it to everyone. Like you don't go on somewhere and say like what your goals are.
He's just like shopping in a thrift store and it's just like saying his
Yeah, I'm not like, hey, this is my goal. But like one of my main goals for Joe Plus Closet, like this was the goal I had was to get an article written about me by Onward State. And
Ooh,
now I just saw that and I said that would be great. Like that would mean my account was like way better than I could have expected if I would get that. And
yeah.
it's like it's a goal, it's an optimistic goal, but it's not impossible. And I think that really like just drove me. And I'm like, what steps do I need to take to get there? And I think, with my account, it was post every day, like multiple times a day. But, you know, it's for having your own business, like having a business like this,
Mhm.
you have to be super passionate about it or it's just like not possible. Like I
Mm.
wake up and I think about it, and it's
That's
just like
awesome.
there's just I mean that's the only way to say yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Set the goals. You gotta like commit. Like you have to be
you
one
have
million
to
percent
really
it.
commit, and it's just like if you take the pedal off the gas, then you're at stage one again. Like it's unfortunate, but like if
That's
you
so interesting.
if you just keep
I know.
like for instance, like I would post twice a day
Mhm.
and I never took a week off or anything because
Mhm.
I just knew that like the constant content would be like people it would be appreciated. Like people even though follow is free, like it it's not actually free. Like people care about it more.
Do
Mhm.
you think like posting like that is more so for an account like yours where you're selling clothing, or do you think like that could be applied to like Whitney and I's podcast? Like, do you think it kind of depends on what you're doing that these things apply to?
Um it depends, I guess. I think that I feel like generally I just if you're on their mind, they're gonna like I just like I post twice a day, so people are like, "Oh, like this is awesome! Like he posted again. Like they're excited for my next
Yeah.
post." And I like that. And I think that with any business, if you have stuff that you can post like every day or every or twice a day, you should do that because you want to create like a kind of community. Like I feel like what
Hmm.
I what Joe Pa's Closet is like it created like this vintage community that like wasn't there really before Joe
Yeah.
Pa's Closet. And I think it's because I am constantly putting out stuff and like stuff to start conversation up.
Yeah.
And it's just like
Wow.
stuff that like they just wouldn't think about like and it's nice with Instagram because it's just on their feed like they don't need to look it up or anything it's just there.
Mhm.
So I think that's a good thing about Instagram like for businesses like in general.
Yeah. No, that makes total sense. Follow-up question to that. Merging into Instagrams. Allie has a Roger Moose Reads, is that right?
Yep.
Instagram account, and I'm
Yep.
already in love with it. And so curious, not necessarily about the Instagram account for you, but what has it been like to live with a dog? Is this your first dog?
My first dog, it's pretty much my first pet ever.
Oh
And
my
it's
gosh.
it's awesome. I love them. I love them so much. I actually had a pet when I was little. I had two fish, and we went on vacation, and I got them from a fair or like a carnival or something.
Uh-huh.
And we went on vacation. We told our neighbor to watch them and feed them and whatnot. And we got home. Well, the lady said everything's fine. She feeds them every day. We got home, they were both dead on the floor. They
On the
jumped
floor?
out. Yes, they jumped out of their bowl somehow.
Oh my
That's what we walked
god!
into after vacation.
What?
I did not
They
expect.
said, I'm done.
Yes, they both died. They both committed suicide. So that was
Wow,
my
Zach,
only
that is such a tragic first pet experience.
yeah, and well, and another thing that happened, which I thought I was like doomed at this point. Um, so like our first week with Roger here, um, he like wasn't he was kind of being like anxious. Like when Allie would leave, he like would cry the whole time. So we thought like, oh, maybe we'll give him like these doggy CBD gummies, okay, or like a like dog treat or something. We thought it
Mhm.
might help. Anyways, he had a seizure from them, like
That's
the day after we think from it, like, and it was the seventh day I had him, and I was like, he's gonna die, like I was like
Oh.
so sad, I cried. I was like, I'm not meant to have a pet, but then he was fine.
Oh my gosh,
It turns
Zach.
out that
oh,
chihuahuas just like have seizures sometimes. Like it's not very
yeah,
uncommon,
it's true.
Wow. I
but it
That's
was
can't
so
so
believe
scary.
that.
traumatizing.
It was traumatizing, not kidding. Like it was like the scariest moment of my life, like for real.
I know.
Oh my.
I'm sorry I'm laughing. I feel like when things are traumatizing, my instant response is to laugh.
No,
So
it was
I'm
so traumatized. It was so scary. Ali will laugh about it too.
yeah.
It was so scary. It was straight up so scary.
I
Oh.
remember her texting us too and being like, prayers and love are needed right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think any has happened since, which is great. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was scary for my seventh day with a pet, and my
So
last one's died.
Jumped out of the bowl. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. Well,
they both did in unison. For they must have been like in unison, like they were right next to each other, like on the floor.
they just like held fins and just went for it together.
No, oh, and I didn't say that they were in separate bowls. Like they were in
What?
separate containers. That's what was weird about it too. They were near each other but in separate containers.
Oh my gosh. Thank God Roger's okay so that you know you're not cursed and you can have pets.
I'd be devastated. Roger is amazing. I love having a dog. It's just like I need to think about things like different though. Having a pet, like I just can't leave stuff like around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I never would think about that.
Yeah. Were you nervous at all about having a dog? Because I know that like I really want a dog, but like dogs really made me nervous at first because I would just be like, they're gonna bite me or they're gonna do something to me if I don't move my hand away really fast. So I'm just curious because I've never had a dog or a cat or anything. So I feel like that could be really interesting to just go from not having one day to living with one all the time.
I wasn't that nervous because he was so small. Like that's the only reason.
That makes sense.
Like I just have like these awful memories of being at like a sleepover with my friends and they have this like big dog, and he's like trying to like he's like breathe like like on like asleep on the couch, you know? And I wake up to that. That's just I don't know. None has ever bit me or anything,
Oh
but
my gosh, that's cricket.
yeah, well, I feel like cricket would not be a good first dog for me just because I wasn't used to like any dog. Like
Yeah.
Roger is so mild and like he doesn't bark. He's silent. He's like awesome, but like he just doesn't
Yeah.
like he's just kind of there. So it's a good first
Yeah.
dog.
He's a little ball.
Yeah, he's awesome though.
That's
Yeah.
so good. So it's yeah, you've definitely gone through a lot of different transitions and evolutions throughout the last 6 months since you graduated. I
Mhm.
believe it's been about 6 months now. I just
Yeah.
got my loans that were like, haha, 6 months is up.
Right, yeah.
So 6 months, and now you're living with Allie, which is awesome. You have a career that you're excited about. We also kind of asked about like friendships and stuff. But one thing I'm really curious about for you is that you guys live in the town we went to college in. And so
Mhm.
what is it like to like be next to these bars like the first and see people going out and like going to the bar and partying, but now you have graduated and now you're an adult. What is that like?
I think it would be a lot different if COVID wasn't right now,
Mhm.
honestly. We live in Belfont, so it's a little bit away from the bars and stuff. And even when we've been in like downtown State College, it wasn't, it was almost like a ghost town, honestly.
Mhm.
Even during the semester. Like now, I think everybody's at home, or
Yeah.
like a lot of people are. So it wasn't as like weird. Like I don't feel like a student,
Mhm.
even though I'm living like around here.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I just think, and like a lot of our friends and stuff are all either our age or like older, really. Like there's only like one or two people that we know that are still students there, you know? So like I don't, so it's not like we see them and we're like really like we see them going out and stuff. Like on my Snapchat story, like I don't see much like Penn State partying really. I mean, because of COVID, but also just like I don't have that many more friends that are younger than me there. So
Yeah. That makes sense. I just didn't know, like, for an example, Paul and I are right next to the Naval Academy. And so sometimes when we go out downtown at night, it's like really bumping with like a lot of students. And
mm.
I feel like aged. Like, I feel like, what is going on? Like, it's 12 p.m. and like this is a late night for me. And like, I feel like, how did that already happen in 6 months? Like, I used to be like, oh, it's only 12. Like, I could probably still go out. Like, let me just wrap this up. I'll meet them at the bar. And now I'm like, oh my God, 12 o'clock. We got to get home. We got to make sure the dog
Oh,
is
yes.
okay. We gotta make sure meals are prepped for the week. And it's just a different world and like seeing it directly in front of me. I don't know. For me, that feels like really weird, and I didn't know if that felt similar for
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's just a weird time because, like, I have friends from home that are like getting married or like things like that. Like, or kids that I went to high school with are getting married or
you.
like have kids, but then we're also like only like 23. So then it's like we're still young enough to like, I don't know. And I feel like I do go to bed a lot earlier now. I think like, well, like one good thing about COVID that I was thinking about the other day was that it gave me a lot of time to just really focus on my business. Like I didn't hang out with people in the summer really. Like I just grinded. And like I'm
Yeah.
not, I mean, I'm sure I would still be doing grinding on my business, but like it definitely makes it easier when nobody can hang out.
Yeah, that's true. The thing you focus on.
Yeah.
Going off of the marriage thing, the marriage comment, I'm curious because I have a friend here and she's like, I feel like I'm just like settling down already. Like, not necessarily marriage, because that's like, whoa, that's a doozy. But do you feel like you are in this place where it's like, whoa, like, how did I already settle down so fast? Or do you feel like there's still a lot of other things or places that you guys want to move or things you want to do?
Yeah, I feel like well, there's still lots ready for us. I don't feel settled down. I
Yeah.
feel like Allie has like I just feel like she's so ambitious with her work and just in general. I think that like there's nothing but the top for her. Like I'm serious. I just think that she's gonna be like she's going places. So
That'd be
and
important.
like for my business, like I'm gonna keep going hard at it until I can't anymore. So like, there's got to be higher ground than this too. So I think
Yeah.
tons of opportunity. I mean, we're kind of settled like with our dog and stuff, but like there's lots to come. I feel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That
Yeah.
makes sense. You guys are big
Yeah.
hustlers, both of you. So I
Yeah,
like cannot wait to see where you both are in like 5 years.
yeah. Like I think I credit Allie a lot to my success. I think just because I feel like without her, like I wouldn't be like as motivated and whatnot. I mean yeah, I think her work ethic like rubbed off on me a bit.
No, that's very true. I feel that way. I remember when I started living with Whitney, I was in like one club and I was just like going to class and coming home. But when I graduated, I was in like three clubs, two exec teams, had a job, and I think that it really does show that like the people you're with, like really can inspire you and make you a better person. And I'm so happy that you have Allie and she has you, because you guys are gonna be big time ballers.
Yeah, I was listening to you guys' old podcast, and the one idea that like popped into my head as something that was really beneficial to me in college was having a job.
Mhm.
Because I worked for like Penn State's environmental health and safety for like a year, and I thought that really helped me. Like I just think I was thinking about like if college was worth it because of like me not doing not like getting a
Yeah.
job in my major, and like I think it was totally worth it. Like I feel like I grew so much as a person.
Yeah, and I feel like it just teaches you, I mean, for some people, it just teaches you how to like juggle things, and you need that like formatted encouragement to like check all your boxes and reach all these and manage different projects. And I think whether or not you use it or not, if you can still find benefit in it and all those other ways, that's good.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think having a job is so important. And I love the whole like that you credit Allie for your
I do. I really do because well, a big thing about me is that I take risks sometimes, but if there's people around me that are like, no, then like I wouldn't take a risk. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I felt like she was always like there to like say that I should do it, something, or like say that my business was like a thing. Like a
Mhm.
lot like selling clothes doesn't make it a bit like I feel like people don't think of that as a business or anything. But I think that like she pushed me to make it like a business, like and
Mhm.
stuff like that. So
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you have your own brand, you have everything going, and it's cool that, you've been able to build that.
thanks.
Yeah. You're
Um,
doing things.
Go ahead, Tess.
Oh, I was just agreeing. Just
I'm cu-
absorbing the good thoughts, good words, good vibes.
I'm curious what it's been like to what it's been like with friendships outside of, you live with Allie and that seems to be going really well. We talk about this a lot and we can't figure out if it's COVID. We can't figure out if it's, being a post grad. That might make friendships hard to navigate, or maybe you're crushing it with friendships and you like are gonna slap us in the face with your success. But like either way, like let me know how that's going for you.
So, I have a couple good friends from home
Mhm.
that I still hang out with. I mean, obviously they live far away from me now, like 3 hours, and they've come up and visited, and I hung out with them a bunch of times over the summer. So I would say that like some friendships are, I mean, they it's a friendship from high school.
Mhm.
So like I feel like we've already dealt with this whole distance thing. Like it's more just like we know we're friends, like for and like it doesn't matter how long like we don't talk or do talk, like we're still gonna like it's still gonna be there.
Yeah.
But I feel like like with those friends, like it hasn't really changed. You know what I mean?
They say once you're friends with somebody for 8 years, you're friends with them for life.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like I probably just saw that on like a Pinterest quote or something.
I thought it
Well,
was 7 years.
It's either 7 or 8, but I think it's really accurate.
I think it's accurate too. I think there's something to that.
It's
Yeah.
just because I feel like they just become such a permanent like figure
Mhm.
in your life. It's not like a go-to.
Yeah,
Well,
I
like,
just yeah.
I know your skin changes every 7 years, so it's like if they've made it through a full skin cycle, then, like, I guess they're there for you.
What? Your skin like comes off of your body like that?
No, like, like, your yeah, like, all of
It
your
completely
body.
regenerates.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. I didn't know that.
You didn't have your skin shed yet?
Apparently I haven't come out of my skin yet like a snake.
But yeah, I just feel like we've been through a lot, and I grew up with them, so you know just not seeing them for a little while doesn't really change that much. But I mean, with college friends, I think it's a little bit different.
Mhm.
Like we'll still be friends, but like it's just yeah, I think it's just a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you go into the friendship knowing that you're made to move apart. Like your goal at the end of that 4 years is to leave each other for something that you want to do in your career. But
Yeah.
when you're growing up with somebody, it's like, oh yeah, we're together forever. So it's definitely like a different, um, just a different thing.
Yeah, that's true. For sure.
Tess, did you have anything you want to ask? I feel like I've been pounding out the question.
No, I just feel like friends are so interesting. And I think it's one of those things that I think it's interesting to ask you, Zach, because I think it's very different for males and females in terms of friendships and how that works. So I think because a lot of the friends that Chris has, my boyfriend, are from high school too. So I think it's whereas mine are more from college. So I think it's very interesting to see that like gap, and I'm not sure how to understand it, or maybe it's just me being crazy and I finally figured it out in college. I don't know. I think it's just something to sit with because I have a couple friends from high school, but it doesn't seem to be as like tight as your friends. So I think it's just something to think about. You're giving me a lot of things to just kind of see what I want to do with my life. I feel like you're
Yeah.
really figuring it out, Zach, and here I am.
No.
Doing the best we can. Um, I do have like rapid fire questions I want to ask you just about like general.
Guys.
Is that okay? I feel like I just want to like let's do rapid fire question. So, question number 1, would you ever get a big dog?
Um, probably
Rapid fire,
not.
Zach, fast.
Oh, okay. I would say no, just
Would you
because of that sleepover story that I told you guys about the breath, you know.
would you and Ellie
But
the breath,
what's that?
deep breath. Would you and Ellie come and visit us?
The breath, you know, like the
Terrifying.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I think that I could in the future. It just depends. Like I feel like sometimes they're more aggressive and like I don't know. I just wouldn't want an aggressive dog, you know.
Yes,
But
you
it's like
need
it
a real
depends.
calm one. That's fair. Would you guys ever come visit us with my big dog?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
We'll put her in the other room so she doesn't breathe at you when you're sleeping.
It's not that I would never be around a big dog. It's more just I wouldn't own one, I don't think, you
Yeah.
know.
Those were literally my only 2 rapid fire questions.
I was like strapping on my seatbelt for him.
um, how is it to be away from your family? I know that you were away from your family when you were in college, obviously, and you're pretty close. 2.5 hours isn't too bad. I do feel like that's been like a weird transition to not be back in your hometown. Do you miss it at all? Because I know you went back for a hot minute over the summer.
Yeah, so I mean I was living there during my last semester just because it was remote. And then I lived there in the summer. And I think by the time I was like the end of summer came, you know, my parents were ready for me to leave. Like I
Yeah.
just felt that vibe, you know. And I actually went back to my house. My sister took over my room. She's painting the walls. I
Oh
went
my
to I go, she goes, you could sleep in your bed tonight. And I'm like, which bed? My bed, your bed. I'm like, I don't even know anymore. I just sleep with a Twilight pillow. I just sleep with a Twilight pillow in her room. So
so
like,
wait, why was she painting it? Is she like making it a new room for herself?
yes, she says it's bigger. It's not even bigger. I don't know. It's the same size. Yeah. So I don't know. I think they kind of. It was the right time for me to move out. I think I do miss them. Um, yeah, I love my family. I love like doing like going to flea markets and stuff was a great way for me and my dad to bond. We
Mhm.
really love doing that together. So I miss that. Um, but yeah, I think it was just it kind of all aligned for us
Yeah.
to move out here like perfectly.
I think that's
Yeah.
so interesting because our last guest also talked about how things just aligned for her and how things were rocky for a while. She didn't love her career, but she was like, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to work on it. And then things just like somehow aligned. And I feel like, and you are both really big on manifesting things and saying
Mm,
things out loud. And
yes.
I've like gotten this vision board kick. I'm about to make one for my office. So I don't know. I think this has like I know that it doesn't always work like this, but the whole manifestation thing, we got a 2 for 2
Yeah.
on the
I'd
falling
say
into place.
I
I'd
feel
say
like it's safe to
manifest.
say it works, not just because of like the vibes you're putting out in the universe, but just because like you become your own inspiration, I feel. And you like start to like empower yourself. I feel like that's so hard to do sometimes. And I feel like I've still been struggling with it. So I feel like once you can do that, you feel like you can do anything.
Yeah, I think just believing in the fact that if I say something that it could happen or like it's more likely to happen, then like I don't know, it's just like the opportunities are endless, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
But
sometimes just like I'll be like, I want to find this in a thrift store. And like most of the time I don't, but like I like to just do that just to like
It's
see if
like
I can manifest it,
it's
you
just
know?
like right there with like a spotlight on it.
Ah, yeah.
That's so wow. Yeah, manifestations I feel like are something to really think about if you're trying to change your life.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, I would say for you guys' podcast, just like start saying some goals. Like I'm telling you out loud, like just start and it'll work. Just make sure that they're like optimistic goals, you know?
Yeah. All right. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Zach. Thanks. We'll manifest it. Um, I know that it's getting towards the end, so something we always like to ask are 2 words that you would use right now to describe post grad for you.
Yeah, I wrote them down here. I was thinking about it earlier. I would say the two words are intense and calm.
Wow, those are opposites.
Yes,
Horse
because
and turtle. Horse and turtle.
yes, like horse and turtle. So basically, it was intense because I've had to make a lot of big decisions in my life. And I got a dog. I moved into my apartment with my partner. And it was calm because, COVID a lot of the time, it was just pretty much just chilling and doing nothing.
Mhm.
So I think it was like a really weird mix of that. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of how I mean, generally, that's how my life is normally. But like, it was a intense version. It was like extreme versions of each. I feel, you know.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
that's probably a pretty good way to describe it.
No, I feel like that's perfect. I feel like I'm feeling a similar way and you did a lot of changes all back to back to back. So I feel like intense and I feel like now you're getting into the rhythm, which is how I can see the calm. So yeah, that's good. Horse and turtle coming back again, showing it strong. We love
I
it.
like that horse and turtle thing. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah, full circle. We started with the horse and turtle. We ended with the horse and turtle.
Yep.
Um, I think that's great. Is there anything else that you want to kind of share about your experience, or if you want to kind of, I mean, you're welcome to promote anything that you're doing with Joe Pa's Closet. Not like we have like millions of listeners, but you're welcome to.
The whole
I
like
act like this.
30
I
people.
act like you're like using our platform to like your advantage, but like really, let's be honest.
Really it's
But if you want to like say what you're working on, you're welcome to.
Yeah, I would just, I just started a website probably about a month ago. It's called mycollegecloset.com. Um, check it out if you haven't.
Check it out.
Before.
I checked
Yeah.
it out. I checked it out, and then I thought it was really cool, and I was like, wow, this is
you should
impressive.
you should keep that review. And I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, okay, I'll make a snippet of that and then I'll like put it on my story or something. Wow, that was really cool. No, I think it's a good way for me like to get to for me to be able to post more items and stuff. So
Hmm.
like a little bit easier for people to get stuff, and it's like easier for me to sell stuff too. So
Honestly, kudos to you because making a website is so hard. I don't know if you figured it out and it was easy for you. If it was, don't tell me because I'll be angry.
it was so easy. Not kidding, it was so easy. It was
All
actually
right.
so
Well, that's it for this episode of Let's Talk. See you guys later.
easy.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe it was just the entrepreneurship class I was in, but that I had to make a website and I was really ripping my hair out towards the end, like doing splits on the floor, crying, throwing my laptop around.
Well, I use Shopify, so it's probably way easier than what you were
Oh,
doing. Not sure what you were doing, but
I don't know either.
Yeah, is there anything else you wanna, like, share at all before you leave us?
I like that manifesting idea. Everyone keep that in your mind. Maybe
Keep it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Love
I
it.
like that. I think I'm big on that.
alright. Yeah, me too. So let's
And Dan, thank you guys for having me on here. I appreciate it. It was fun talking to you guys.
yeah, you too, Zach. It's been cool to kind of get to know you a little bit more and what your last couple of months have been like since the last time we saw you was at the bar
Yeah.
in March.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice to like talk to you and not just like get a glimpse of your life through Allie. It's like nice to actually like see what you're up
Yeah,
to. So
my head like pop in you guys have a group.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that wraps it up.
Yeah,
Thanks so much, Zach.
no
all right,
problem.
thanks.
Thank you guys.